guys, how are you? Welcome to COD Stage 4. I want to spend a couple of minutes chatting to you about setting an expectation on somebody who's starting their first week. So setting expectations for a Stage 1 person. Obviously, as I'd imagine in my office was the same as yours, as an owner of a company or a marketing company or an owner partner, I will be setting an expectation of everybody who starts my business on a COD1 on a probation period. But as the crew leader in an office, I also want to do the same thing because it's important for me. My goal is to move from Stage 4 to Stage 5 quite quickly, and I want everybody on my team to see me as that next assistant owner partner, or next owner in the team. So I want to make sure I'm setting my own expectation meeting with people too. How does it work? Well, for me, it's important. It has to be done, before they hit the field for the first time. When I recruit somebody on my team, they do their observation day. The following Monday and Tuesday, they do product training in the office, and the Wednesday traditionally will be their first day in the field. So before we leave the office for the field, I want to sit down with this person and run that expectations meeting. A lot of people refer to this as a 100% chat, which is what it was when you're a leader, and it still is now as a crew leader on Stage 4. But maybe it's a little bit more intricate, maybe it's a little bit longer. The 100% chat normally lasted for maybe, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, a couple of minutes. This will last for a few minutes. What do I want to cover on my Stage 1 expectation, I suppose? Well, the first thing is I want to sit down, I want to say well done, I want to say congratulations to them. I want them to feel great. I want them to know that they've done really, really well. I want them to know the privilege that they've just received by being allowed to work in this business. They need to appreciate the fact that they've come through a CV search, or they've applied and they've been rung by a recruiter, that they've come in for an initial appointment, that they've come in for an observation day and succeeded, that they've gone through their final appointments and have been offered a shot, that they've come through 2 days of product training, but yet they've got one hurdle to go. Before they're fully welcome to the team, they've got a 6-day probation period. 6 days for us to really doubly check to make sure they're the right person for the team. So I'm going to say, well done, welcome to the team, temporarily, you're on a 6-day probation, and let me tell you what I'm going to do to help you and what I need you to do in order to get you through this probation period in the best manner possible. That's the whole point of this conversation. So I break down into a couple of different areas. I always take out a COD Stage 1, and the first section I want to discuss about is the introduction to the business. I want to let them know that all this stuff that sounds quite complicated, like personal finances, data protection, paperwork, all those sorts of things, that I want them not to worry about that stuff. That's all stuff we're going to teach them. Once they know that stuff, they're going to know that stuff. I want to explain to them that we're going to grade them on this. We're going to grade them between 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to grade them on their progression and their improvement. So they need to know that by the end of the week, everything in that section will be graded on 3, as in as good as it can be, because once they know it, they know it. I don't want them to worry too much about that. Sometimes guys see things like personal finance or paperwork and they're like, oh, that seems a bit scary. No issues. The next section is the selling yourself section. This I really make a big deal about, because for me as a sales coach, if I'm coaching somebody who is at least up for it, who's at least able to communicate, at least able to talk, able to smile, have a bit of fun, talk to people, I know the sales coaching can be easy. I can put words in their mouth once their mouth's working. So selling themselves is important, making sure they really understand how important that C principle is, making sure that I say the words. This is the most important part of the trial for you as the guy on the trial. I need to see you use that C principle. I need you to be aware of your tone of voice, your body language. I need to know that you can build a rapport, that people trust you. Once they get that bit down, the rest is gravy. It's really, really easy. The next section then is the mechanical sales section. I explain on this is the bit where we say, say this, say that, don't say this, don't say that. Well, if they say this, then you say this. It's a real mechanical, setting up the rebuttals, explaining how to handle objections and how to reclose. That stuff's easy. I explain to them that the be all and end all of this trial is not sales. If they do loads of sales this week, they won't automatically pass their trial, which is true, because a guy that does lots of sales but is a bad example or negative or can be highly divisive, that guy doesn't have any place in our business at all. Equally, if a guy goes out and doesn't have a great week and only do a few sales, it doesn't mean they're not a great guy. Some of the best salespeople I've seen in this business picked up sales a little bit slower, and I explain that to them. For me, I don't like them. I picked up sales very quickly, but other people I have, some of my owners, they didn't pick up sales so quickly, so I use those as examples. So it's making sure they understand that. The big part of this trial, of this Stage 1 COD, and the expectations when I sit down, is the bottom section, the mentality section at the bottom. Okay, there's things in there, things like having the right attitude, protecting your attitude, time management, 100% effort, willingness to listen and learn, application versus preparation, and taking control. These are the areas, these are the mentality section of the business. I want to explain to them about what a good attitude is. I want them to understand what a good attitude is, because that sounds, to us, it's pretty common. We use that word all the time. We understand what it is. But don't forget, to a brand new guy who's never been in this industry, the word attitude is a bit weird. So, what is an attitude? That's the first thing I'd explain to them. Because we all know what a bad attitude is. We've all been told by our folks or by our parents or a teacher or a coach that we have a bad attitude. That's pretty standard as you grow up. But we don't know how to articulate what a good attitude is. So I want to make sure that I explain that to them. I'm not going to run a topic on you how to explain what a good attitude is, but I want to make sure I spend a good couple of minutes explaining that, how to identify what their attitude is and what triggers they have for losing it. I want to tell them that over the next 6 days, I'm going to teach you how to develop and maintain your attitude. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to highlight when your attitude's good, when your attitude's bad, and how to keep it at an equilibrium, and how to get it right. I'm going to explain them things like time management. Obviously, we're not in the sort of position where we can tell someone what time they can work at. That's not our position. We can't do that. But what I do explain to them that time management isn't about timekeeping. I expect them to be in when they say they're going to be in. If they say they're going to be in for 10:30 in the morning, well, I expect you to be in for 10:30. I'll manage the agreement, which is all I really can do. But for me, time management is about them using their time well, managing their time well. So I say things to them like, in the morning when you come in, if you're going to be in for 11:30, I might still be in a leaders meeting, or I might be, doing some initial appointments. I might be in product training. I might not be in the room. I might be busy. So you can come in at 11:30 and you can sit on the floor on Facebook. You can surf the web, play with Snapchat, whatever it is, or you can be busy and you can manage your time well. You can grab another guy who's on their trial. You can grab someone else in the room, maybe on stage 2, pitch practice. Role play what they were doing yesterday. Go, well, someone said this, what would you say? If I said this, what would you say? And role playing, using that time well, making sure that they know where to find information in the office, where there are booklets on leadership, where there's what's on the walls. Making sure they know how to spend their time, but also putting the expectation, the emphasis on the fact that when they come to the office, they have to use their time well. The same way in the field, I'll explain to them. Well, listen, at the end of the day, you're an independent contractor. You can have as many breaks as you want to. But for me, if you spend the whole day sat in the wall, well, don't expect to do too many sales, which is, you and I both know that, but a lot of the guys won't. So, you make sure they realise that this is the sort of role that being lazy, being a skiver doesn't benefit you. Moving along, then the next sort of thing is how to maintain attitude. I explained to them that I'm going to teach them, I'm going to educate them on what it is that pushes their buttons, what it is that motivates them. Some people are motivated by their family, some people are motivated by money, some people are motivated by, nice material goods, some people are motivated by recognition. Some people like to, being able to ring the bell in the morning meeting. That's what's important to them. And I want to make sure they understand that we're going to highlight and identify what it is that makes them motivated. And we're going to teach them how to maintain that motivation and maintain that attitude. We talk about other stuff like 100% effort. I'm going to ask them, like in the 100% chat, I'm going to ask them, can you put 100% in this week? I'm going to shake their hand on it. I'm going to ask them to be aware of their timekeeping, to be aware of their attendance. I'm going to explain to them that it isn't up to me, but if they miss 1 out of 6 days of their trial, it's incredibly hard for us to pass a trial. So I want them to understand that. I need them to agree with that. That makes sense. It's logical. I also want to go over other things. I want to go through things like, when they're in, they're taking notes, that when they're in, their image is good, that they're shaving every day, that they're taking pride in their presentation. I want them to understand they're representing my team, they're representing me as their leader. They understand that what they do reflects upon me. So I want to make sure they know that. So I cover all those sorts of things. And 100% really gives me license to cover anything. If it's a guy who maybe on their observation was a bit fond of the phone, I'll bring that up. If it's a guy on the observation day that was talking about how they go on the rip the whole time and they're always hungover, well then I preempt that and I talk about that. So it will vary depending on who I'm talking to, but I'm using this as an opportunity to kind of really drill down on certain areas and set set my stall from the get-go. And obviously this 100% agreement later on in the trial, like if they're not working hard, if they're not moving quick enough, if they're on the phone all the time, I'm like, come on Johnny mate, you said you'd give me 100%, you shook my hands, you didn't give it 100%, neither do I, come on man, let's go, come on, let's do what you said you'd do, and you can fall back on that. Other stuff in here, the idea of, difference between preparation and application, I explained to them that having amazing notes and having a really nice notebook on this side is really good, and throwing yourself in the deep end and kind of, just having no fear is really good, but the perfect marriage is being prepared, being organised and willing to break comfort zones and willing to give things a go. I want them to understand that there isn't anything wrong with being super organised, there's nothing wrong with breaking comfort zones, but you've got to do both. Next thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about them taking control. I always explain to people, I'm like, at the end of the day, I will give you 100%, as I've already said I will, but I cannot learn this stuff for you. There's a really antiquated phrase, which is you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If you've ever tried it, it is quite a challenging thing to do. But the reality is, we have got the person here, they're in there, they're here, they're at the water, if you will. And water is the information, the knowledge that we have. And, but their thirst, that's up to them. How much they drink is up to them. We can't force them to throw. All I can say is that if they're here, I will provide them with information. If they're here, I will teach them. If they learn and they try and they really take it on board, they'll do great. But I really put the onus back on them, that they are the ones who stand to make the most or to benefit the most from this trial, not me. That they are the ones on trial, not me. I've already passed my trial. I'm on stage 4. I've already succeeded to a certain level. Now it's their time, their job to show their colours and show what they're made of. And I make the agreement. I say, I'm going to do everything I can to get you through this trial, as long as you give me back 100%. Fair play, good on you. You know, shake hands, make an agreement out of it, and then we can look after that. Most importantly, guys, when you're recruiting people, they need to know that this business is what it is. This business is an amazing opportunity. It's not just a sales company, as so many people think it is. You know, it might, from the outside looking in, it might just look like a sales company, but the reality is, it's a big business, it's a big industry with massive opportunities. This is my chance to make sure they understand how seriously I take it, how seriously I take myself, how seriously I take my business, how motivated I am, how ambitious I am, what my goals are, and it gives me a chance to really show them what I'm made of. And will I inspire them this way? I probably will. That's not really my goal here. It's just almost to give me license to set standards. And give me license to set an expectation with them. You know what I mean? So therefore I can pull them up on little small things, rather than thinking that I'm just this, you know, really tough guy. I'm not like that. I'm a nice guy. It's for their own good. I've told them to put 100% in. I've told them I'm hard. But I've also told them I'm very fair. Hopefully that explains to you how to set expectation out for somebody on stage 1. It's quite a long one, I suppose, but it is a massive part of what we do. If you really nail this, you will see guys getting through trials more efficiently, more effectively, more successfully, and obviously that will shorten down the amount of time they spend on stage 2 and the quicker they get thrown out of leadership. So yeah, there you go. Have a great day. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.